car from Lewis Hamilton, because that car was specifically made with Lewis's height in mind. So George, from a racing driver, is rather tall.
Yeah, so from a racing driver perspective, why do you have to be so small? Or why are most of the successful ones so small?
It comes down to the weight and to the center of gravity. The taller you are, the higher the center of gravity is, and in racing, everything is about performance. So with my height, I weigh about 85 kilograms. That's what in pounds, 200 pounds perhaps. And I don't know how many pounds that.
I'm not sure. I would opt in that range.
Maybe 190 pounds, but that for a racing car is already too much in terms of Formula 3 or Formula 2, especially Formula 1. And actually, Lewis gave an interview 2 years ago, and he said that if he were only 1 kilogram, so 2.5 pounds heavier, that would change the entire characteristics of the car.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'll be an ideal height for F3, F2. Yeah, what do you race? Karts, perfect.
I work in karting.
Good.
Where?
So I'm from Nebraska.
Alright.
I travel all over the like
Do you do like what series?
So I'm part of the Ignite series.
Okay.
Oregon Ignite. So the next one is
Yeah, cool.
I used to do driver management for Trinity, and they're running great.
I
I work for Prix.
That's the younger generation already having a match made here from from the racing perspective. And what age are you?
16.
16. That's a great age to start karting.
Professionally, English champion.
Okay, wow, well, congrats. Awesome. The first time in COTA? Second time, okay.
What's your name? JJ Williams.
So JJ, we'll keep an eye out on you in the future, and perhaps in a couple of years we'll be having these truck tours interviewing you.
Do we have any other drivers on board? Anyone that
Any other
races
racers?
anything?
But you know what, I like to see the diversity in terms of fans. We've got Verstappen fans,
Yeah, we've got a
McLaren fans,
we've got
Mercedes fans down there.
Yeah.
I think, is that a gentleman in a Ferrari shirt or just a red shirt? No, it's just a red
We've got
shirt.
a Haas shirt right here.
Haas, there we go. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, off we go. So yeah, welcome on board to our very first truck tour this very evening. Again, my name is Chris, alongside me Jenna, and we're gonna talk to you about this beautiful, beautiful circuit. Now you are, I wouldn't say a local, but you are an American. In
Yes.
terms of favorite circuits, where does COTA rank for you?
Where does COTA rank for me? Would you say in like the 2022 season or in general?
In general.
You know, I like the track. It's got great like mockery of Silverstone and Suzuka and even Hockenheim at points. It's definitely fun because it's close to home. I'm from Wisconsin, so closer to home than most of the European races, which is very nice. Don't have to fly internationally for this one. I would put it in top 10.
Wow, okay, yeah. Well, I'm within the same page. I think, like you said, this track has a nice flow. So, we're getting a great Red Bull garage. The boys and girls doing some pit stop practices for Sunday's race, of course. And Red Bull still holds their record in terms of pit stop times. In the old cars, it was sub 2 seconds, 1.85 seconds, I think. And with the new ones, a little bit slower because the tires have gotten bigger, 18-inch wheels this year. And you can see the garages still open. Of course, there is a curfew. You can see Esteban Ocon's car has already been covered by a black blanket because there is a certain curfew for the teams, because the teams are not allowed to work over a certain period of hours to not keep them fit and well rested.
Driving past Aston Martin, they have their new development driver, Felipe Drugovich, who was the F2 Championship under their tent this year, and speaking with him a little bit earlier, mentioned that he may do some reserve driver stuff for next year, so I'm sure he's excited. Under Williams, we have Logan Sargent is doing the FP1 session, which will be a great experience for him. He's an American, so doing that at home.
Yeah, Logan had a really great season in Europe. I was following him, and he did really well, but of course, like I said, we have the F2 champion with Aston Martin this year, and we just saw some of the marshals, of course, working on the Williams car in terms of extraction exercises, because in the case of a heavy crash, the marshals need to know how to get a driver safely out of these Formula 1 cars. And once we're getting past all these barriers, and Josh doing a great job down there with the barriers. Josh, good stuff.
Thank you, Josh.
We'll be heading up to turn 1, and I gotta tell you, turn 1 is a really tricky one because you're getting up here with close to 300 kilometers an hour, but you can brake super big, because if you just lean over the truck just a little bit of left and right hand side, you can see the steep incline up to turn 1. So when I got here for the first time in 2015 in free practice, I thought my braking point in the forces would be about 200 meters, 150 meters, but because it's such an incline, you can brake really late and use that incline to your advantage.
And speaking of the elevation, this is one of the hilliest tracks on the calendar. I think the elevation difference from lowest to highest point is 30.9 meters. So you can tell the truck is even struggling to get up it a little bit.
I was going to say, the truck has to shift through his gears to get up the hill. And if you look back now, you can see how steep this incline really is. And this is what I meant when you're thundering up here in the Formula 1 car, or even in these support categories, at close to 300 kilometers an hour. You can brake so late because obviously gravity is your friend as you're coming up here. But Jenna, a very tight turn 1. We've seen a lot of action back in the past. You can sort of take a tighter line or even a wider line, isn't it?
Yes, for sure. I think back in 2019 we saw, careful of your footing, it's going to do that. We saw Sebastian Vettel overtake Lewis Hamilton into this corner, and then I think Hamilton went on to win the race, but it was definitely a feat of a pass.
It totally was, and as we just came up to turn 1, we can now see the decline into turn 2, and this, I have to say, is definitely the beginning of my favorite part of the track, because you have very fast moving right before the SS45, where we saw a lot of action the past few years as well, because at the start, obviously everyone wants to sort of make spaces as well, but turn 3, 4, 5, you cannot do it side by side, especially not in a single-seater Formula 1 car.
Now, last year, both McLarens went 3 wide with Sainz in a Ferrari. That wasn't in turn 3, 4, and 5, but that was in 18. I almost positive, but.
I mean, you have to, Alonso always says you must leave it as space. You have to respect the other drivers on track. Sorry? Is Max out on track? Do you see something? It's Lando. Okay, there we go.
Is he?
Definitely give him some of the love on his track walk. Give it up for Lando Norris.
Hey, Lando!
There we go.
Wow, keeping cool, calm, and collected. Just a piece
His eyes low.
Lando.
Is it Lando's eyes low? Okay.
I think Patrick's here this weekend too.
Yeah, he is. And so if you're wondering, exactly. So if you're wondering what they're doing now, they're basically doing what we're doing as well. They're on the track to see what might have changed from last time around here. Formula 1, the FIA has certain rules that they need to, that the tracks need to adapt to in terms of curbing and runoff area and sort of, even tire barriers. So for a racing driver, even though you raced here, in February this year, if you come to Formula 1, you might want to do a track walk because the track might have changed since the last time you were here.
Sure. I mean, this track is pretty recently built. It was built in 2012 when it held its first race that Lewis Hamilton won, and that happened to be, he's won here 5 out of the 9 times that they've raced here, 2012, 14, 15, 16, 17. He did it when last year Max Verstappen, who we're coming on up here, beat him out and is hoping to do it again this year, which would make him the only second driver.
That's why we're going up there.
Speaking of which, went here 2 times.
I think we're quite lucky. Did you say it was Max out there on the track?
Yeah.
It really is. I think now we definitely give it up for this 2-time world champion, Max Verstappen. Congrats. Well done. Good luck this weekend. Wow. I mean, we're definitely on the right truck this afternoon. I mean,
you guys chose the right truck.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've done a few truck tours this year, and I think it was only once in Monza when we saw some of the drivers do a track walk while we were out. But again, yeah, he's out here making sure the track is the same as he remembers from last year as he took the win. His teammate finishing 3rd, just behind Lewis Hamilton. But Jenna, I think that this year we're going to see a different sort of result. I think that Ferraris have such a strong car, even the Haas, since it's basically a Ferrari customer team. I think we will see the Ferraris up there. What do you reckon?
I mean, I would love to see the Ferraris up there. Obviously, as we've seen through the season, they've had some strategical issues that have really messed them up and lost them championships, arguably, which has been definitely frustrating. But I would love to see, I think if either Red Bull driver wins or gets 3rd or 4th, F1 posted something that they win the Constructors Championship this weekend, which would be cool to see, but also kind of disappointing from a spectator standpoint to not have either championship pulled out all the way to Abu Dhabi, and it would make the last 3 races a bit boring, but I would love to see a Ferrari 1-2 for one more time this year.
I'll tell you what, I don't think the racing is going to be as boring because of course there's still the title to be the vice champion, and you want to finish the season on top. You want to leave your business card in terms of racing pedigree. So I think we'll see a lot of good racing action. But kind of one thing, being up here in the truck and having this great of event at the point that I noticed is all these undulation changes that I heard when I came here 2018 last summer. This track was built on marshland, so the track is very uneven in there.
I'm actually not sure about that one. I know Mario Andretti built it.
Did he really?
I think so.
You know something I
No,
don't.
by his bare hands. He put together every part where it says Andretti on the track. He actually hand painted that. Mm-hmm.
That's why the last corner was named Andretti.
Yeah, the last corner is named the Andretti corner because of that.
So now coming into the hairpin, this is going to be a very pivotal moment of the race at even qualifying because it's so important to set up the car for a great exit because we have a very long straightaway, and trust me, when you're in the race, especially if you're in the Formula car like a Formula 1 car, you have DRS, so you want to be within that 1 second to the car ahead of you, which will allow you to use DRS. And can you guys tell me how many DRS zones we have here at the Circuit of the Americas?
2 minutes.
2, it's 2. It's 2, exactly, yeah. So yeah, if you look to your left and right hand side, you can actually see the track is built upon. And again, this is why we do our track tour. This is why the drivers can do their track walk as well, because they need to see how the track has changed, especially these high downforce cars, these are long cars. And you see it fucked up, especially at the here later on. You'll see the Red Bull has the highest sort of brake. The car isn't straight. Why? Because when the downforce kicks in at higher speeds, the wheel of the car gets pushed down to the floor when you see the sparks flying. This is why the drivers and engineers need to know a combo generation is there on this back suspension.
Chris, you know something I'm kind of upset about is that there's no support series this weekend. I think those are always so fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean
F3 and F2 didn't even finish this season. The champions here, what?
The champions
They're still racing.
Exactly.
But I think this track is almost a great merge under the street track in a sense with the elevation changes.
It is. The one so close to velocity you're at a
Supposed to race, yeah.
But W Series would be but they're acted early before the big event, unfortunately. But their years is still kind of historic events that they want to yeah, this is always told us. Sorry? So the Porsches raced here last time in actually it was 2017, so it was 2017 was the last. Yeah.
Chris, did you race on this track in 2012?
No.
13?
14 was the first time.
14. Do you think it's changed at all since you're racing 14 now?
It has definitely got fun here. Yeah. I remember coming here in 2014 and then racing last time here in 2017. The track has definitely gotten a lot up here. So again, not so forward in the GT car because you want the suspension travel, but it is the F2, F3, especially so much of course every really good travel on the track. And that's Martin McFly. He's joining us as well this year, I think, huh? Yeah. Is he lower there? I want to see him hit 80 miles an hour. Yeah, no, coming down here, they're not super long, back straight, top gates, updated depth curves, going over an extra 3 kilometers an hour. Very hard braking. Now we've seen some Sebastian Vettel because he was not on the traffic balance going to that tight left-hander. And now from sort of hopefully a championship that he's putting into but I really know that the Ferrari is looking strong. Where do you see the team?
I think Mercedes is consistently becoming stronger and stronger each season. I think Lewis Hamilton kind of finally came back into his strength a little bit and is a great driver to force back into it. And I think George Russell, after driving in Williams for so long, could hop into Mercedes and just kind of adapt. Because I think the difference between Hamilton and Russell in a sense is that Russell drove not so great cars and learned how to drive that, whereas Hamilton drove super great cars. So I think at the beginning of the season we saw that swing of, oh my gosh, Russell's this crazy better driver because he's used to driving cars that aren't performing at the highest of levels. I think that they could protect, like, where are they in the championship right now? constructors wise.
shooting down in third, if I'm not mistaken.
They are in third. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, but
I think if Ferrari folds again, that they could potentially get second.
well, with Ferrari, it's all down the strategy. I mean, they had definitely the faster car in this season, but some of the sorry. That's a good call. That's the Aston Martin crew out there.
That's the one. That's it,
Sorry,
It is.
I think it's Vettel and
wow.
Stroll.
So we're definitely going to give it up for them as well as we pass on the right-hand side.
And Susan Bender from Nico.
Yeah.
Left hand side left.
That whole team just has great hair, honestly. That Ferrari, great hair.
All right, now on the left-hand side we can see him.
Got three big riggers on the end there. Vettel, Stroll. Lance Stroll, obviously, in the middle out there again. And like I said, it's so important to know your apex to see, again, if the track has changed. And I gotta be honest with you, the track hasn't changed into as much, but obviously from the ground, I'm trying to see all the bumps that we don't see or even don't feel in this truck is what I'm being referenced. But yeah, this is why we're out here getting people to you. And one more thing is when these grandstands are built, when you're a driver and you have, especially if you're a domestic driver at any circuit you're using your vessel, it's that's right up here. It's a head start on my teammates. So yeah, definitely it's a incredible feeling, a very electrifying atmosphere on this little track, and good luck this weekend. Yeah, when you're driving on any track, you're looking but it's definitely not. So
good view. Oh, we're almost ready over there. There we go.
enjoy your run. These are setting track records, guys. Let it be. So around this corner is when we're actually going to start this semi-truck drag race. So everyone, hold on. I'm kidding.
So coming to the last, second last corners here, everything was coming out of the track. Stewards, and we had so many of our laps taken away. So it's easy to exceed the track. The track was hard to find, but three stewards by the white line. But the race track, they always want to push the boundaries and
Stefan.
Yeah, they check this off. These curves out, really just big old curves. I'm wondering what that has to do with it. Is it more strict?
And it was mentioned earlier, but this corner has a really late grip on it. This corner is not made after oil and ready. And he said he put this corner himself.
There's people standing under it, Reagan, but I promise you under that lot of people said that Reagan.
Yeah, this is the ready corner in gold for the man is parked on exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this very first truck tour this afternoon and give you a good insight into what this track is all about. And don't forget to take your picture of the World Championship trophies once you disembark this truck.